Welcome to this explainer. Today we're looking at a massive 5,000-year epic, the history of India. And let me tell you, this isn't just a bunch of dusty dates to memorize. It's a living, breathing blueprint of human ingenuity. We're going to see how incredible breakthroughs, especially how the mathematical invention of zero completely changed Indian science, literally shaped the modern world we live in today. So let's jump right in.
Think about it for a second. How does the civilization survive, progress, and continuously reinvent itself for over 5 millennia? That is the core mystery we're unraveling today. We're tracking this continuous thread of resilience that has kept the Indian subcontinent thriving through it all.
Okay, let's get a quick lay of the land. We're going to navigate this history in 6 parts. Ancient roots and urban dawn, the golden age of empires, medieval kingdoms and Mughals, the British Raj, the struggle for independence, and finally, the modern democratic republic. Part 1. Ancient roots and urban dawn, the dawn of civilization. Now, human communities were thriving across the subcontinent way before actual cities popped up. But around 3300 BCE, things shifted drastically with the emergence of the Indus Valley Civilization. Then, around 1500 BCE, we move into the Vedic period. Fast forward to the 4th century BCE, and we see the massive Maurya Empire step in and unite the subcontinent. But let's rewind to the Indus Valley for a second, because what's absolutely shocking here is their infrastructure. I mean, in 3300 BCE, cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had indoor plumbing, standardized baked bricks, and complex drainage systems. We wouldn't see that level of urban planning in parts of Europe for thousands of years. And they weren't isolated either. They had these expansive trade networks, making them one of the absolute first great urban civilizations on Earth. As the Indus Valley eventually declined, the Vedic period took root around 1500 BCE. This was a major cultural pivot. Agriculture absolutely boomed, and Indian philosophy really started to take shape. This is when the sacred Vedas, the oldest texts of Hinduism, were composed, laying down foundational ideas about the universe that are actually still widely followed today. Moving right along to Part 2, the Golden Age of Empires, Unification and Enlightenment. By the 4th century BCE, the Maurya Empire had brought most of India together. But the wildest story from this era has to belong to Emperor Ashoka. After seeing the absolute devastation of the Kalinga War, Ashoka was just horrified. So much so that he did a complete 180. He completely abandoned warfare, embraced peace, and basically became a global champion for Buddhism, spreading its teachings all across Asia. It's an incredibly dramatic historical pivot. Following the Mauryas, we get the Gupta Empire, spanning the 4th to 6th century CE. This is India's golden age. We're talking huge leaps in medicine and art, but their absolute greatest gift to the world, mathematics. This is exactly where zero changed Indian science forever. Before this, zero was just an empty placeholder, but Indian scholars were the first to treat zero as a working, functioning number. That single, revolutionary breakthrough allowed astronomers like Aryabhata to accurately calculate the solar year and the circumference of the Earth centuries before anyone in the West. It is the literal bedrock of all modern mathematics. Next up, Part 3, Medieval Kingdoms and Mughals, New Cultures and Magnificent Architecture. This era was incredibly dynamic and turbulent. In the 13th century, the Delhi Sultanate established widespread Muslim rule over northern India. But the real earthquake hit in 1526, when Babur founded the mighty Mughal Empire at Panipat. They basically reigned supreme right up until British ships started arriving in the 18th century. The Mughal era is famous for this legendary succession of rulers: Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. These leaders weren't just military conquerors. They commanded staggering amounts of global wealth and created this really vibrant, unique cultural synthesis of Indian and Persian traditions. And you can literally still see their legacy today. It wasn't just about drawing lines on a map. They completely transformed the architectural landscape of India. They introduced entirely new artistic styles and built some of the most enduring structures on the planet, most famously, of course, Shah Jahan's breathtaking Taj Mahal. Which brings us to Part 4, the British Raj, Domination and the Crown. So all that immense wealth, it eventually caught the eye of European powers. During the 18th century, a British corporation, the East India Company, gradually swallowed up military and political control of the subcontinent. This heavy-handed economic domination sparked the Great Revolt of 1857. In the aftermath of that massive uprising, the British Crown stepped in to take direct control. This kicked off the era of the British Raj, which held tight until 1947. Part 5. The Struggle for Independence. decades of sacrifice.
Naturally, that foreign domination was met with fierce, determined pushback. Under leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, the independence movement championed a truly revolutionary strategy: non-violent resistance. Instead of taking up arms, they used massive acts of peaceful civil disobedience, like the famous Salt March, to completely paralyze colonial rule. It was a total paradigm shift in how to fight an empire.
And after decades of relentless sacrifice, prison sentences, and just unwavering determination, it actually worked. August 15th, 1947, India finally wins its independence, a monumental victory for an incredibly resilient people.
Finally, Part 6, the modern democratic republic, a global superpower emerges.
With freedom secured, the hard work of building a modern nation began immediately. Just a few years later, on January 26, 1950, India officially adopted its constitution, transforming into a fully democratic republic and officially launching itself into the modern era.
And the progress since 1950 has been nothing short of staggering. India has scaled into the world's largest democracy. They've sparked massive agricultural growth, driven rapid economic development, and pushed the absolute boundaries of scientific innovation, even launching their own advanced space missions to Mars and the Moon. But what's really fascinating is how they've managed to balance all this futuristic growth while fiercely preserving their deep, ancient cultural roots.
So, when we zoom out and look at this entire timeline, a really clear picture emerges. India's history isn't just a random sequence of empires rising and falling. It's a powerful story about cultural diversity and continuous, unstoppable progress. It is the ultimate testament to human resilience. Which leaves us with this thought: how does a 5,000-year history of resilience and innovation, from the advanced plumbing of the Indus Valley to the world-altering way zero changed Indian science, right up to the nonviolent overthrow of a global empire, continue to shape modern global superpowers today? It really goes to show that history isn't just something stuck in the past. It is absolutely the active blueprint for our future. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.